Hi, Erica.
Hey Sven.
So, how's it going?
Good. I was just jamming out to our intro music, I have to say, but otherwise
Yeah,
doing
I
really
also
well.
I really like the music, so I think we had a good hand on that actually. And yeah, luckily you can hear it the whole year, the whole
I
season actually.
know, right?
It's
I'm
cool.
never going to get sick of it. And then, yeah, ask me that again come August.
Cool. So I think in a second we should probably talk a little bit about the last show that we had, the What's on the Menu 2021 show, which was pretty cool. But we both thought we're gonna kick it off by giving you watchers, basically people out there, a little glimpse into how we actually work at home. So I think on purpose we already decided not to kind of give you a green screen, right? So you can see Erica's beautiful background and my real lab background, basically, right? Yeah, should we show some
Yeah,
pictures? Should we do that?
of course.
Very
Now,
cool.
granted, this is definitely the pretty version. I had to straighten my desk up a little bit so that I wasn't embarrassed. But yeah, I'm
See,
confident
that's the
in
problem for
showing
me
this.
now. I also cleaned up my desktop a little bit, but it still doesn't look pretty.
All right.
That's
Okay,
a
okay, just
problem.
show them.
So, yeah, let me find the right window. It's also something I think we should probably talk about at some point is how we are actually using Mural, which is a great tool to streamline our shows here. So
Absolutely.
okay, sharing my screen and almost
And in
got
the
it.
meantime, it would be fantastic to get feedback from you guys as to like what does your home office look like? Are you in your own, designated space? Are you in the kitchen? It'd be really great to hear in the comments how you guys are working.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Very cool. So this is where I'm sitting right now. So actually I pulled back that little noise guard here because it's just going on my nerves. But I've got a big screen and my laptop basically, and I've got the same cup of tea even. So and then yeah, a little bit of noise protection here, right? And some 3D printed Lab Talk logos. Over to the next picture, which is Sven again in front of his desktop.
The
But now
quintessential
I'm totally
selfie.
fascinated by your environment, by the way. So
Yeah. All right. So, of course, this is just the corner of my room that is presentable. But yeah, so I have exactly what you see behind me when I'm sitting in my normal chair from the office. And then like the second photo is the alternative to my chair, which is my fantastic desk bike that my mom got me. She wanted to make sure that I was getting some kind of activity, and I absolutely agreed with her. So I have this like desktop attached to it that I can also wheel the bike around my apartment and be able to work from my laptop. Or in the third photo, this is how it looks at least once a day when I take the desktop off and I can raise my standing desk, and that way I can bike while I'm going through my emails or
I just find it
watching
so
something.
fantastic. Really, it's totally amazing, and I wish I had such a bike, to be honest with you, because now I'm already kind of trying to move around here because one of my feet is kind of sleeping, and I need to move too. So that would be amazing for me.
Yeah, it's a great option. I'll keep you updated on how it goes, but so far I really like it.
Cool stuff. Excellent. Then last show. So we got quite a few comments, and some were also related to CX. And at this point, I just wanted to quickly tell everybody that, of course, we're trying to take comments whenever it's about really the topic of the show, and we also like all the highs and how are you basically. But we can't really comment on product name changes, for example, product roadmaps and stuff like that. So we can't talk about the products here. We can also not give you kind of technical advice, but we're really here to talk about the future of customer experience, lots of technologies, and how that affects us.
That was the disclaimer.
Not
I
so
think we
bad,
need to have
right?
like a little disclaimer bar that pops up at the bottom. So in any case, we're getting into things where don't follow our advice. We're not giving advice or something like that. We can have a little disclaimer on the bottom.
Yeah, never listen to Erica and Sven, basically. Yeah. But then
Alrighty, so we have some news that you
absolutely.
wanted to get into.
Yeah, let's. We thought. I mean, this is a chat episode, right? So we can talk a little bit about the tech news and sometimes CX related tech news too. And something I came across is that IBM promises 100 times faster quantum computing in 2021. And I just now I know quantum computing is kind of a game changer for whatever is associated with computing, and so potentially it's also related to CX, for example. But I wanted to put it in there because I think we're so much focusing on these down-to-earth problems these days. Now, with the pandemic, how do we vaccinate? Where's the vaccinations coming from? And how do we get it across the country the quickest possible? And how can we enable our merchants to sell something online, right, in the quickest and richest fashion, for example, that we sometimes might oversee some of the news that's kind of bubbling up slowly, and at some point it will just come out and change everything. So something like quantum computing could be exactly that topic. So
yeah, absolutely. It's obviously a space to look at, but up until now, everything is so far in the future and so aspirational. So it's nice to get a reminder that hey, people are still working on far out innovations like this, and we haven't lost sight of that. So happy to see how that's actually going to develop then in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Next news, teleshopping on TikTok or home shopping on TikTok, right? So there was some news about more or less TikTok going down the way of extreme product placement, I would call it, right? So you have like people streaming on TikTok and obviously presenting photos, and it's like these good old home shopping TV channels, basically, right? That I haven't watched for a long time, but I just found it interesting that now I would never watch this again, but now it seems to be coming back to the young generation with the help of TikTok, actually.
Yeah. No, and I think that it's an intersection between, okay, home shopping has not really gone away. I know that my mom is still looking at these marathon kind of ads running at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And people are still discovering and buying things in these avenues. So it's interesting, yeah, that it's being introduced now to younger generations through social media and through TikTok. And I'm sure also, adding a gamification component to that. And it's nice to have that as an alternative to all of this, sponsored content and influencer content. So again, yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. I still haven't downloaded TikTok, so I haven't seen it either. I'm holding out. But who knows? Maybe that really does become a preferred method for shopping. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok mainly to watch my kids, actually. To be honest with you, right? Cool. How we come from TikTok to Bitcoin, actually, and Elon Musk? I don't know. So I had a red line of thought actually when I was putting this together, but. So next topic, Bitcoin, really. So Elon Musk invested in Bitcoin. He is invested, and I think the Bitcoin price just rose to a new high, which is crazy. And I mean, the topic here is a bit, of course, could Bitcoin at some point be a payment method, for example, for online shopping, for example? And I think we have to say that it's purely an investment by now, right? I mean, no one that I know, actually, whoever has Bitcoin is really using it to pay for their everyday groceries or something like that. It's also way too expensive to pay with Bitcoin right now. So your every transaction costs a couple of dollars, right? So, and it's massively unsustainable, actually, which is really bad
I mean,
point.
we have to see, but what I at least appreciate about this bit of news, as a lot of you know, in the last few weeks, cryptocurrency has really been a trending topic just because of the highs and lows of the effects on the prices based on what people are saying about it, and then also just in general, there's been a lot of attention / controversy around investment prices and activities, and I think it's very encouraging that people are caring more about this outside of the typical circles, right? And that it's becoming a bit more democratized, but at the same time, my best advice is just to make sure that you're as informed as possible. You don't go, taking investment advice from like social media forums. But it will be interesting to see how this develops with whether or not coins become, or cryptocurrency becomes, a more day-to-day currency. But yeah, we are not there yet. Not legitimately, anyway.
The potential cryptocurrency, or at least blockchain based, I would say, that might have a future is Diem, right? So Facebook's they called it Libra until end of last year, and then they renamed it into Diem. I think there was supposed to be some news actually in January, and now so far it didn't happen, but it's an active development. And I mean, if Facebook wants to have a currency or its own currency, that could actually work, right? So that might be really interesting to see how they might be able to change the game here of payment when it comes to payments, of course.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm a bit of a skeptic, so it's been hard for me to really jump on the bandwagon of having my payment methods tied to my social media accounts, tied to my email, tied to all of my information online or on my devices, which I guess is a smooth segue into the next news topic, which is dealing around the Facebook versus Apple feud and privacy. In general, this is just all about Apple's planned policy changes as far as how users are able to determine whether or not they're being tracked across their different apps. Facebook is apparently not that happy about this, and feels that it might have some negative ramifications for, say, small businesses or, in general, the revenue streams that are based off of personalized ads. So yeah, it's a very important contribution to the debate around user privacy and how that should be, or if it should be monetized, like how much control should these protocols have in place, as far as should it be easy for me to protect my data and say I don't want to be tracked, or should it be the default that that these settings are in place, and I should have to go out of my way in order to opt out of them? I don't know. What do you think, Sven?
So I recently switched on a lot of my devices to using Firefox actually, and they have this kind of safe browsing mode, or this enhanced protection, I think it's called, and you can see a bit how many trackers are on that page, and it is sometimes very scary, of course, right? When you just surf to a normal news outlet, news page basically, and you have like 35 trackers on there, more or less. So that made me think a bit. And so these days I'm also going a bit more into I'm becoming a bit more privacy aware, I would say, right? But in the good old days, just recently, maybe some weeks ago, basically, I'm the biggest Google fanboy, basically, right? So I was using all these services up and down, and I'm probably the best tracked person. But it made me think, really, that discussion between Facebook and Apple, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's a wider discussion, right? I think about my normal, everyday usage and the trade off that you have of like, yes, of course, you want your experience to be personalized or at the very least relevant to you, but at the same time. I do feel that it shouldn't be a burden to want to maintain your privacy. It's pretty hard for me when I'm looking up recipes and on every single page that I might go to, I have to click down manually 10 or 20 tabs to turn off the cookie settings, right? So it's difficult, and I understand both sides, but I do think in general, this type of information, like the power should be in the hands of the user, and not and not some mega corporation that is making money off of your info. So
yeah, and I mean, one thing that I would like to add to that is that I believe I slowly realized that for a lot of the stuff that you get for free, that you you're being monetized, of course, right? You watch ads, and this is how someone makes money on you, or you pay for it, right? And especially over the last couple of weeks and months, I think this turned a bit more. I turned a bit more willing to pay, to be honest with you, right? Whether this is for news, for example, for good news without ads in this case, or password managers, all that stuff. Like if it's free, I'm always like thinking, what's the catch?
What's the catch?
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's talk a bit about next show, okay? It's in 2 weeks' time. I think that's March 2nd. By the way, this is a Monday because I can't make it tomorrow. That's why we're streaming on a Monday, actually. Thank you so much, Erica. So the next show is super cool because we're going to talk about something that is super current during this whole pandemic. Basically, it's about retail experiences and how to virtualize them. So what does this mean? We're combining two things here. We have Yechiel from Hexa. So they're big in the 3D model generation space, I would say, and being able to kind of place a 3D model next to your product detail page and visualizing how a product looks like, being able to turn it and also put it, for example, with the help of your phone in the real space in your home. And we're also talking to Dr. April Bachhubner, and she's from Precise, and they do something super interesting. They've been doing body measurements. So you can use the camera to scan your body, and then you know what size you are basically and what you need to order basically. Yeah, and that's amazing. And both things together, bring them both together basically. I think that's a super cool topic for pandemic show, I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to just the different social and of course technology aspects of what does it take to to virtualize these aspects of the retail experience, where from the commercial side of having 3D AR VR content that you can interact with in your own space, and whether or not and how that can really come to not just enhance but maybe replace traditional in-person shopping experiences, and then also the aspects of in general using these AI tools to basically to optimize something that we all have to deal with, which is how do I make sure that what I'm ordering is the right size, especially in these days when not too many people might have tape measures at home or be aware of how many centimeters they might have put on over the holidays, and how their sizes are changing, right? And it also it's helping businesses a lot because the back and forth between buying and sending back things that don't fit is a huge cost, like both on companies and also on the environment. And so any way that you can work to, to get rid of that, especially with digital tailored services, I think that's really great. So really looking forward to talking with them.
Yeah, I really like that second point that you made about sustainability, right? That if you kind of know what you're actually ordering and that it most likely will fit, of course, you don't have to return it, which is amazing. It's really both a cost saver, but also great for the environment. And the same goes for being able to see and turn a 3D model or a product basically, because if you just know what you're buying, then you're likely not to return it, which is amazing. Exactly. Cool. So this will happen March 2nd, again, European time, Berlin time, 3 p.m. Thank you so much. Maybe just a final shout out. If you have any comments, then please let us know. If you want to talk about a topic that you feel is related to customer experience and you want us to talk about that, then please send us a comment. You can do this right now, or you can just, whenever you watch this video, of course, you can just leave a comment and we'll try to pick it up. Okay? Very cool. So if you want to have more information, cxlabs.sap.com/labstalk. And I think with that, see you soon.
Wait, you're forgetting something.
Yes.
You're forgetting the last thing.
How could I forget that, right?
I know, right? Okay, so our question. I will take it over. I don't trust you anymore. I think I'm gonna take this. So, all right. So our question for the last thing today is: what was the last thing that you studied or you learned for your own personal development?
Should I take the first one?
Yes.
Okay, so I did so I would really say the last real study thing, right? Not just reading a book or something like that, was on OpenSAP. I did a course called Business Success with Climate Action, and that's because I'm also doing a fellowship at SAP IO. There's the sustainability cohort going on right now. I know you're also part of this, right? So it's a super current topic for both of us, and I just wanted to know more about how we can actually more or less save the planet and at the same time kind of have business success, right? And so it's a lot about being able to break down products into their bill of materials and knowing what CO2 impact they have and ways we can get that data and in the end choose the products and the logistics that's a bit less harmful for the planet actually. So it's a really great OpenSAP course. We should definitely put that into the show notes later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't gotten a chance to finish it. So yeah. No, I was just saying that I've also looked at this course and I started it, but I haven't had a chance to finish it, and so that's on my list. But yeah, for me actually, I recently got a subscription to Masterclass, and for those of you who don't know, it is this forum or platform where global experts and celebrities who are known for being leaders in their fields or their disciplines have their own custom short form course that's usually around 12 lessons or so. And it's a really diverse library. I happened to get the subscription as a gift, but I was already contemplating getting it on my own because I saw so many people that I looked up to who are hosting their own courses here. So I've already gone through the course with like Neil deGrasse Tyson and with Rodman Roberts, and currently I am finishing up a course from Chris Voss, who is this expert in basically in interrogations and in yes, and is like communication, and so he's really awesome. He's been a consultant for all of these different governmental agencies and been involved in really high profile cases And the course is about negotiation. It's about how to read signals between like communications of other people. Like how to tell whether or not someone is telling the truth or if they're lying. How to get your point across, how to sell your points of views to different audiences. So altogether, it's super interesting, and there's a lot of applications in real life, right? And then there's a bunch of other courses that I'm really looking forward to taking, and it's cool because it's like an alternative to Netflix, where on Sunday, instead of binge watching a show, I can binge watch something that's like interesting and that I'm learning from. So
well,
I really
now
like
I'm
it.
really scared actually talking to you because you're psychologist, right? So it's called Masterclass, okay?
Yes, yeah.
That's how it's called. Okay, we should all look it up, I guess. Very cool.
Yes, absolutely. I'm part of a learning like a learning group where we're like everybody who's taking these different classes are also sharing their thoughts and their opinions and recommending courses to other people. So it's also been really nice to have a virtual forum for knowledge sharing in this regard. So far I'm really enjoying it.
Cool. Excellent, but I think now we're at the end of the show, right?
Yes, now we are.
Cool. Thank you so much. Again, next show, March 2nd. We're talking about retail experiences virtualized. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.